Hello and welcome to SEO is Not That Hard. I'm your host, Ed Dawson, the founder of keywordspeopleuse.com, the place to find and organise the questions people ask online. I'm an SEO, developer, affiliate marketer and entrepreneur. I've been building and monetising websites for over 20 years and I've bought and sold a few along the way. I'm here to share with you the SEO knowledge, hints and tips I've built up over the years. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Not That Hard. It's me here, Ed, as usual. Today we're on to part 12 of our SEO A to Z. So I'm going to cover keyword cannibalization to keyword volume. Everything starts with keyword today. So keywords is the first thing really. Keywords, they are the words and phrases that people search for in Google, which therefore websites aim to target. We all know, I think we all know what keywords are. So if you've got a website, there's going to be certain keywords that you may not know what those keywords are, but there are keywords that your website needs to target to sort of serve the audience that you're looking to provide value to. So these are the keywords. We've got to find them, we've got to learn about them, and there's a whole load now we can talk about keywords. So let's start with, alphabetically as we always do, keyword cannibalization. Now, keyword cannibalization, this is a problem that can occur when multiple pages on a website target the same keyword, whether intentionally or not. And what you do is you dilute your ability to rank for the keyword across these pages. Because essentially Google, when it's trying to classify the pages on your site, it's these two pages that are essentially serving the same purpose, the same intent, covering the same keywords. It's going to look at them and go, well, which one should I rank? And in what circumstances should I rank each one? So what you're doing is you're diluting your ability by having two pages. It's better to consolidate into one page and cover those keywords on the one page. Now, you might find that, you're doing this, it could be hard to work out, well, which bit should I have on one page, or should it still be two pages, but just we move around the subjects of each page? So this is where, to solve this problem, you can use what is our next topic here, keyword clustering. Now, what keyword clustering do, this is the process where we group together related keywords to cover them on the same page or group of related pages to avoid keyword cannibalization. Now, keyword clustering best carried out in our experience by using search engine result page or SERP clustering. Now, what this is where we go to Google and for every keyword, we do a Google search and see what the top 10 results are, the top 10 organic results are for that keyword. And then we do it for all the other keywords that we're targeting, do the same process, do a Google search, get the top 10 results, see what they are and record them. And then, once we've got all that data together, we then compare which keywords have similar results. So we might say, if two keywords have three URLs that rank when we search for them in common, we'll consider these to be clustered because essentially Google's ranking the same pages for those two keywords. Now, obviously, this is a really difficult thing to do if you're trying to cluster. Even if you're just doing it for 10 keywords, let alone hundreds or even thousands of keywords, it's a huge logistical process to go through all those searches, record them all, and then do all the cross-referencing. Fortunately, there are tools out there that can do this for you. The Keywords People Use, my own tool, can do it for you. So we've got full keyword clustering. I could do SERP clustering like this. It could do thousands of pages in just a matter of minutes, do all those connections for you and create all the clusters for you. So if you're interested in doing this, do go to keywordspeopleuse.com because we can help with that keyword clustering process. But it's really powerful, this keyword clustering, because it helps you stop the keyword cannibalization. So it means that all your pages are really well targeted with all the right keywords on the same pages, and on the same page connected together, rather than splitting out across multiple pages and diluting your ability to rank. So it's a really, really key process when you are creating and designing a structure for a site and what you're going to write about and what keywords you're going to target on each page, on each part of the site. So really highly recommend that you go and look at that. Next, we've got keyword density, also known as keyword ratio. Now, this is kind of like an SEO myth. It goes back to the very early days of search engines, and the very first basic search engines were very, very basic, and all they did was look at the content of a page and count how often a keyword appeared on a page. And the more times a keyword appeared on a page, the higher they would rank it in the search engines. I mean, we're talking going back 30 years now to the very first basic search engines. Now, they were obviously incredibly easy to spam because all you had to do was just like repeat your keyword multiple times at the bottom of the page and you could rank and your keyword density would matter. It doesn't anymore, and it hasn't for years. So if you see that anybody talking to you and saying you must have a certain keyword density ratio, or a certain number of times you have to mention the keyword on the page compared to all the other words on the page for it to rank in any place, it's just nonsense. It doesn't work like that. You can actually even rank web pages without for a query without even having the query on the page if you have the right backlinks, if you have the right using other synonyms on the page. Google is really good at working out what related keywords are. How people can search for one keyword, but they actually mean another one using synonyms. So, but keyword density, this is a warning flag. Do you see someone talk to you about keyword density being important? That's a red flag. Walk away from that person's advice because they're giving you terrible, terrible advice. Next, we've got keyword difficulty. Now, keyword difficulty is a measure that some keyword research tools will assign to keywords to try and indicate how difficult it will be to rank for a certain keyword based on competition. However, they don't factor in that this difficulty level will vary depending on the site that's trying to rank for the keyword and how much topical authority it may or may not have in the area. So, for example, if you've got a website that is amazing on the topic of lawnmowers, right? You have got loads of authority on lawnmowers, loads of other lawnmower sites linked to you. You are just, you are the topical authority on lawnmowers. Then keyword difficulty for you on anything lawnmower related is going to be really, really low. So a tool might say, oh God, this lawnmower related keyword is really, really difficult. But for you on your site, it's not, because you've got that authority. You've got all that built in. You've got all the right content. If you talk about lawnmowers, Google's going to give you a massive, great big leg up. If you started to write some content about dishwashers, right? You could find a keyword research tool that said, hey, this is a real low difficulty. This dishwasher term is really low difficulty. You could write content on dishwashers, put it on your lawnmower site, and it might not get anywhere at all, because the sites with authority on dishwashers are just going to outrank you, even if they are not as big a site as you. They might not have the same number of backlinks as you. They might have much lower page rank than you, but because their topical niche is dishwashers, Google relates dishwashers to them, they're much more likely to beat you. So this is why keyword difficulty from keyword research tools is a really, really tricky one to sort of wrap your head around and work on. So it can be useful. I'm not saying it's, if you take it as relative, if it's in your topical niche and you're looking at keywords just in your niche and it's saying which ones are harder and which ones are easier, it might work. But if you're starting from new for a new niche or a new site, then whatever you do, keyword difficulty is difficult for you because you're a new site across the board. So yeah, it's a concept that some tools use, and I'll just say take it with a pinch of salt. Next, we've got keyword grouping. Now this is just another term for keyword clustering. So you'll find some people talk about keyword grouping, some tools talk about keyword grouping. What they're essentially doing is trying keyword clustering. And just going back to keyword clustering, obviously I talked about doing SERP clustering, search engine result page clustering. There are other clustering techniques that some people will try and say to you are the best, like using AI, by using NLP and various other techniques. But trust me, we've tried all of them when we were building the clustering into keywords people use. We tried the AI, we tried NLP, we tried a whole bunch of stuff. Nothing comes close to the results that you get from search engine result page clustering, because we tried all of them before doing search engine result clustering, because that's harder. The SERP clustering is harder in terms of crawling Google. It's a harder one to do. We looked for the easier options, the sort of the quick fixes, and trust me, they're nowhere near as good. Right, next up, we've got keyword research. So yeah, keyword research is the process of discovering what keywords to cover when developing content. And there's loads of free and paid keyword research tools out there to help you achieve this. Keywords people use, obviously my tool is the one that I obviously think that's the best, because I designed that around my process. My process has always been to consider questions first rather than just pure keywords, because essentially everybody goes to Google to ask questions. They're trying to solve a problem. They're trying to get a question answered. It might not be a straight question with a question mark on the end, but underlying what everybody does when they go to Google, think about it yourself. You're trying to answer a question, even if it's like, where's the cheapest place to find this lawnmower? And you just type lawnmower, you're still trying to answer a question there. So I always think in terms of questions first, which is why we built keywords people use to concentrate on questions. So as I say, depending on what you want to do, you might use other tools, but do have a look at my tool. You might find it's useful, or you might not, and it's free to try, so you've got nothing to lose. So that's my pitch. I'll try not to pitch again in this one. It's difficult when we're talking about keywords and we've got a keyword research tool. Next, we've got keyword stuffing. Now, this is very similar to when we were talking about keyword density just now. It's a very basic spam technique of trying to repeat the same keyword and keyword variations on a page over and over to try and improve rankings. Now, it's easily spotted nowadays and easily discounted by the search engines. Don't keyword stuff. It won't help. It'll just make your content sound awful. It's the kind of thing that's going to be picked out quite easily by the search engines now. So yeah, not a recommended technique. And then finally, we've got keyword volume. Now, keyword volume is a metric that some keyword research tools will provide for a keyword that estimates the number of monthly searches for a keyword. But you've got to be cautious over the accuracy of these figures, as no tool has direct access to Google search volume data. So these tools are all using a small number of data suppliers who will give keyword volume estimates based on some data that they pull from. Most of them will pull from the Keyword AdWords tool and some other sources online that kind of aggregate this data. Now, the number of keywords out there is almost infinite that people ask. Google say themselves that 15 to 20% of all the queries they see every day are brand new and never been seen before. So you've got to consider almost a fifth of all queries are brand new every day. So chasing volume is not something I've recommended. And I've done plenty of, at least one other podcast on the content of why you shouldn't chase volume. Now, we do actually now in some parts of keywords people use involve volume. And volume works on sort of short tail queries. So like broadband or broadband deals or broadband speed test. We can get data for these, but it's still just an estimate, and it's not a guarantee that there are that many searches around on these terms, but it's an estimate. And we use it now in keywords people use where we do that when we do the clustering process. We talked about keyword clustering earlier. When we do that, we try and work out for each cluster that's produced what the broad topic area of that cluster is. And we will then be able to go and get a keyword estimate on that broad topic, which can then help us and help you decide which clusters to aim for first. If you're trying to go after volume, if you want to sort of split your effort and say, right, I will write for the clusters that have across that topic area the most amount of volume first. And we do this, but it's still something where my overall philosophy is don't concentrate on volume to a great deal, because ultimately the people you want on your website, it's not just pure numbers. Most people are trying to sell something on their website. You want the people who will buy. And, so you only really need the people who really, whose intent matches exactly what you're selling on your website. So the small number of people who come out of the hordes that actually buy, they're the ones that you need to worry about. You don't need to worry about the volume. The only one way you do worry about volume is if you're trying to do display ads and you are a pure volume player. But, it's the one case where it's different. But from anyone else, the only people you really need are those who are really in the market for what you're selling. And that's where concentrate on the questions, concentrate on the intent of those people is the key thing there. Okay, so that's it. We've done keyword cannibalization to keyword volume. And I'm sorry if I did talk too much about keywords people using this. If you listen to enough of my podcasts, I try not to have them as a pitch for our product. We are sponsored by the product, obviously. But just this one was so about keywords. It's so relevant to the product that I couldn't help but get it in, unfortunately. So I do apologize if it was too much. But anyway, if you can think of any other Ks, any other terms beginning with K that I've missed, then do let me know. I can get them added. And until next time, see you later. Before I go, I just wanted to let you know that if you'd like a personal demo of our tools that keywords people use, that you can book a free, no obligation, one-on-one video call with me where I show you how we can help you level up your content by finding and answering the questions your audience actually have. You can also ask me any SEO questions you have. You just need to go to keywordspeopleuse.com/demo, where you can pick a time and date that suits you for us to catch up. Once again, that's keywordspeopleuse.com/demo, and you can also find that link in the show notes of today's episode. Hope to chat with you soon. Thanks for being a listener. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share. It really helps. SEO is not that hard. It's brought to you by keywordspeopleuse.com, the place to find and organise the questions people ask online. See why thousands of people use us every day. Try it today for free at keywordspeopleuse.com. To get an instant hit of more SEO tips, then find the link to download a free copy of my 101 quick SEO tips in the show notes of today's episode. If you want to get in touch, have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Channel 5 on Twitter. You can email me at podcast@keywordspeopleuse.com. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode of SEO is Not That Hard.